My fiancé's family dragged me to court for breach of promise after I canceled the wedding. Then my lawyer pulled out screenshots of her cheating, lied to her parents, nearly fainted, and the judge made them pay my legal fees. I should have known something was off when her family started acting like the wedding was their royal coronation and I was just the guy lucky enough to breathe the same air. But I pushed through. I loved her, or at least the version of her I thought was real. Then one Thursday night, 3 months before the wedding, I found the texts. Not vague. Not, maybe it's innocent. Not, could be misinterpreted. Nope. Full-on explicit, time-stamped, geotagged proof that my fiancé had been having an affair with some gym trainer dude whose entire personality was protein shakes. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't throw anything. I just walked into the kitchen where she was reorganizing the fridge like her life depended on the milk being on the top shelf and said, "Hey, I think we should call off the wedding." She froze. Then she tried to deny. Then she tried to cry. Then she tried to blame me. Standard rotation. I didn't budge. By the next morning, her entire family was blowing up my phone, calling me dramatic, ungrateful, breaking a sacred promise, blah, blah, blah. I blocked them all. 2 weeks later, a man in a suit knocked on my door and served me papers. Her family was suing me for breach of promise. Basically, you broke off the wedding, so you owe us money because we emotionally invested in this marriage. I actually laughed. Right there, in the doorway. The guy serving the papers even smirked. I called my lawyer and said, "You're gonna love this one." And oh boy, he did. The lawsuit was ridiculous on its face, but her family treated it like a holy crusade. Her mom even posted some passive-aggressive Facebook manifesto about men who don't value commitment, with a photo of a broken wedding bouquet for dramatic effect. My aunt sent it to me with a LMFAO "What is this message?" My lawyer, Bennett, was a calm dude, like can read a will at a funeral without blinking calm. But even he cracked a smile when I told him what they were suing for. "They're basing this on an old, practically extinct law," he said. "And even then, you'd be protected unless they can prove you broke off the wedding without cause." Cause like, I don't know, being cheated on. He tapped the folder sitting on my table, the one I filled with screenshots. "Oh, we have cause." We spent the next week gathering evidence. I had the full text conversation between her and the gym guy, voice messages, photos she sent him, a calendar invite labeled leg day plus his place, which, honestly, I'm still impressed she thought was casual enough to not hide. But we weren't done. Bennett wanted everything she'd ever said regarding the wedding, commitment, or fidelity, anything that could legally paint the picture that she breached the promise, not me. So I went through old messages, emails, DMs. And then I found the jackpot. A group chat with her two closest friends. 6 months back, she bragged about how she had options and said marrying me was strategic. Her exact words: "He's stable. He'll be a great husband. Besides, if I ever want passion, there's always the gym." I sat there reading it, letting it sink in. The woman I'd been planning to marry saw me as a retirement plan, a reliable appliance, a dishwasher with a pulse. I forwarded everything to Bennett. He called me 10 minutes later, laughter in his voice for the first time ever. "Oh, we're absolutely going to win." The hearing was scheduled for a Friday morning. Her family arrived dressed like they were walking into a courtroom drama they'd each rehearsed for individually. Matching colors, coordinated expressions, the whole theatrical package. She avoided my eyes. Good. Her mother, however, glared at me like she hoped I'd spontaneously combust in front of the judge. Their lawyer, a sharp-looking guy with the energy of someone who truly believed this was his big break, launched into a long monologue about commitment, honor, betrayal, emotional devastation, financial investment, and the groom's failure to uphold his promise. He even threw in a line about the sanctity of family. I watched my ex shift uncomfortably. She knew what was coming. When her family's attorney finished, Bennett stood up slowly, adjusting his jacket like he had all the time in the world. "Your Honor," he began. The plaintiff's entire argument hinges on the assumption that my client ended the engagement impulsively and without justification. Then he opened the folder. "And that assumption," he continued, "is incorrect." He slid the stack of printed screenshots onto the evidence table like a magician revealing the final card. My ex's face went white. Her mom gasped. Her dad made a noise that was somewhere between a cough and a dying engine. The judge read through the first page, then another, then the one with the photos, then one of the voice message transcripts where she called me boring but reliable. When he reached the group chat messages, the judge actually raised an eyebrow. The room was dead silent. Finally, the judge looked at her. "Ma'am," he said, "did you send these messages?" She swallowed. I mean, context. "Did you send these messages?" he repeated. She nodded. Her family's lawyer visibly deflated. Bennett cleared his throat. "One more thing, Your Honor." He pulled out the timeline, dates, times, overlaps, showing she had been cheating long before the wedding was ever called off. The judge didn't even look at her lawyer this time. "Well," he finally said, "given the evidence, this case is dismissed. And considering the frivolous nature of the suit, the plaintiff will cover the defendant's legal fees." Her mother audibly choked on her own outrage. Her dad's hands flew to his head. My ex stared down at the floor like it might open and swallow her. Meanwhile, Bennett simply packed his papers and whispered to me, "Told you." As I walked out, I could feel their eyes burning holes in my back. Her mom hissed something. Her dad tried to save face. Her sister pretended not to know them. It was glorious. I didn't say a word, but I did smile. Update that I honestly thought the courtroom humiliation would be the end of it. You know, they'd go home, yell at each other, maybe throw a blender, block me on Facebook, and move on. Yeah, no. Her family went into full nuclear meltdown mode. Point one. Her MOM started calling everyone. I mean everyone. Mutual friends. Co-workers of mine she barely met once. My sister's fiancé, for some reason. She tried spinning this wild narrative. I hacked her daughter's phone. I fabricated evidence. I used AI to fake messages. Meanwhile, everyone already knew she cheated because she'd been horrible at hiding it. Like, she once posted a gym selfie at his apartment mirror. Her cousin recognized the tiles. So her mom's calls didn't do much except make her look unhinged. 2. Her dad called me, too, but different energy. The man was defeated. He apologized. Said he warned her not to sue. Said he knew she was reckless, but didn't think it would go that far. Then he quietly asked me, "Do you really need the full attorney fees? We're already financially stretched." I almost felt bad. Almost. But then I remembered the lectures, the judgment, the arrogance, and the fact they were trying to sue me for tens of thousands. So yeah. "Yes, sir," I said. "It's court-ordered." He sighed like he'd aged 10 years in 10 seconds. 3. My ex's friends turned on her instantly. Apparently, they had no idea she'd dragged them into this lawsuit mess. Screenshots leaked. People saw the group chat messages where she basically admitted she was marrying me for stability. Her two best friends roasted her so hard she blocked them. They reached out to me later with, "Bro, we're so sorry. We thought you guys were great together, but wow." I didn't even respond. I'm not diving back into that swamp. 4. The gym guy? Oh man. He ghosted her. Immediately after the court hearing. She sent him paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, the kind with emojis that try to soften emotional disaster. And he left her on read. Then finally replied with, "This is too much drama. Also, I never said I wanted something serious." Ouch. I actually winced when her friend showed me that one. 5. Her family had to pay my fees, and it hurt them bad. Bennett isn't cheap. He's the kind of lawyer who charges $50 just to think about your case in the shower. The bill was big. Like ruin a vacation big. They had to cancel. A family trip. The younger sister's graduation party. Mom's spa membership. And apparently her dad sold his motorcycle. All for a lawsuit they started. 6. Then came the text from my ex. At 2:14 a.m. The classic time for regret. "I can't believe you did this to me." I laughed. Actually laughed out loud at my phone. Then she sent another. "We could have worked through everything if you weren't so vengeful." I didn't reply, because this wasn't vengeance. This was consequences, delivered politely, legally, and with receipts. 7. And now? My life is calm, quiet, uncomplicated. I sleep better. My apartment feels lighter. My wallet feels relieved. My phone isn't buzzing with drama every 5 minutes. I'm seeing someone new. Actually, very early stage, nothing wild. But she's gentle, funny, thoughtful, and doesn't treat relationships like a chess game. And the best part? She doesn't have a gym guy. Final update that I thought the chaos would die down after a few weeks, but things had a way of circling back to me whether I wanted them to or not. Her family eventually paid the court-ordered attorney fees. I didn't gloat. I didn't post about it. I didn't tell friends I won. I honestly just wanted everything to go quiet. But word travels fast in small circles, and people started sending me screenshots and whispers without me even asking. Her mother tried to rebuild the family's image first. She told anyone who'd listened that I embarrassed them in court, that I overreacted, that I should have settled privately. But the people who knew the real story, especially those who'd seen the messages Bennett presented, weren't buying the damage control. The tone shifting was almost comical. One week, we're suing him for what he did to our daughter. The next, well, the case wasn't really about cheating. Even her extended relatives quietly unfollowed them on social media. Not because of me, just because the whole thing looked messy and self-inflicted. Meanwhile, she reached out again. This time it wasn't angry. It wasn't a 2 a.m. meltdown. It was a long, carefully written apology. She said she knew she had ruined her own life, that she never imagined her parents would have to pay anything, that she was ashamed of the way the hearing went. She said she missed me. She said she wished we could reset everything. I stared at the message for a long time, not because I was tempted, but because it felt like reading a letter addressed to a version of myself that no longer existed. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't even resentful. I had just detached. Completely. I typed back a simple response. I hope things get better for you. Please don't reach out anymore. It wasn't meant to be cold. It was final. A clean door closing. She didn't reply. Her family never contacted me again either. The lawsuit had broken something between them, something I had nothing to do with. I later heard through a mutual acquaintance that they blamed her for everything that happened, that she and her parents barely spoke for a while, that she moved back home, then moved out again, then switched jobs after her coworkers found out why the wedding was canceled. And me? Life evened out. I focused on my work, started exercising again, redecorated my place, cut out the noise, and somewhere in all that cleanup, both physical and emotional, I met someone new. No fireworks, no intensity, no drama, just peace, respect, curiosity, laughing at the same dumb things, wanting to see each other again without any games. She knows everything about what happened. I told her early, not as a warning, but as a marker of where I've been and who I refuse to be around again. She didn't judge me. She didn't glamorize the story. She just listened in a way that made me realize how starved I'd been for something simple and human. Sometimes I think back to the moment my ex's family served me that lawsuit. The shock, the embarrassment, the quiet fury under the surface. It felt like the world had tilted. And now, it feels like someone else's life entirely. If there's one thing the whole ordeal gave me, it's clarity. People show you their values long before they show you their apologies. And once you understand that, you stop romanticizing potential and start appreciating reality. I didn't win because the judge ruled in my favor. I won because I walked out of a relationship that needed me to lose in order for it to survive. Everything after that was just paperwork.